did this, because if you don't get him, you next.
You got some balls calling another meeting with me.
We got a new business venture.
Help us bring down CBI and Tommy.
If you take Lil K out now, you will have a mutiny on your hands.
Was it Claudia that shot my friend?
Tommy Egan, he's this close. If figuring out that you pulled the trigger on Liliana.
Chicago, this place much more dangerous.
What's going on, YouTube? We back in the Low Key Cave, Keyshawn Knobs' YouTube page, aka Mr. Low Key, and we back with another TV show review. You know, your boy got the Panther stuff on today. It's NFL Sunday, so you know I gotta come right. I'm definitely a Panther fan. Shout out to the Panthers. Come on, man, we gotta get this done today. We couldn't do it last week, but we got it today. But other than that, man, we back with another review, and of course, we got Power Book 4, Force, Season 2. I'm not gonna front, man. This episode was pretty good. I actually enjoyed this episode, and if we're kind of gonna go in this direction, this is definitely gonna make this season better. Now, is it gonna make it an overall decision where I might end up liking Power Book Force? I don't know. We gotta see, man, because like I said, this is definitely the weakest spinoff of the Power universe right now. And Tommy being who Tommy is, like, hopefully, man, we're gonna see. But the Flynn's, they still kind of getting on my nerves, man. I ain't even gonna front. Like I said, outside of Claudia, who I feel like has somewhat of a story going on, including the whole situation with her and Tommy and what she did to Liliana, and the whole thing with the whole Dahlia stuff and what she's trying to do with that. But Walter and Victor, bro, I'm getting so irritated with them. I'm tired of them. I don't want to, like, they ain't got nothing really interesting for me going on. They are not interesting characters at this point for me. Like, honestly, outside of the shit with Tommy that they got going on with him still trying to get answers for Liliana, but he already know it was Claudia. It's the whole thing with Victor, I guess, still pretty much on this whole situation with Gloria, and now he kind of look like he going kind of off the edge or whatever, but Walter still trying to groom him to be something that he obviously is not going to be. They just getting on my nerves, bro. The Flynn's are getting on my nerves outside of Claudia, because I like kind of Claudia villainous thing that she has going on, and it seems like they are kind of leading towards her being like the one. Like, it could be a situation where she ends up taking out Victor and Walter. Like, I don't know. But if that comes down to that, I'm cool with that. Let Claudia do what she gonna do, man. She giving me something as far as story-wise. Outside of that, we had the situation with Tommy being shot at, and of course, the little girl got hit, and the little girl ended up dying. So now it's a big situation with involving the cops. Now, you know bodies bring costs, but not only that, it's the situation with kids being shot. So you definitely about to have a situation where now they're bringing in a task force. So this is definitely helping the situation as far as old girl who is the cop, who is definitely trying to get this whole thing going with coming after Tommy or whatever. And her is pretty much kind of manipulating the situation with her ex-husband, which I didn't even know about. It is kind of, you know what I'm saying, getting things moving forward as far as them kind of building a case to go after not only Tommy, but the whole CBI or CMB crew or whatever the fuck their name is. Once again, though, this whole, the Chi and Force, you know, the Force being in Chicago, and I don't know if anybody watching the Chi on Showtime or whatever, but it's the whole thing with having these other characters off that show. Outside of old girl, she pretty much is switching roles. Like, she is the opposite of the role she playing in the Chi, but your boy Bacardi is pretty much the same person in the Chi and in Force. The only thing is that these majority of the characters that play in the Chi that's on Force, they don't have a lot of screen time, so they're not really in it that much. So you ain't really paying them no mind unless you know they from the Chi. But outside of that, man, the situation with Tommy and your boy, man, your boy Jannard. Of course, Tommy know he's the one that was supposed to be dealing with that situation or whatever and not really doing anything about it, but it wasn't his call. Old buddy went out there on his own coming after Tommy. So now Tommy pretty much giving him the ultimatum like, yo, you either go take care of this or I'm going to take care of it and I'm going to take care of you. My whole thing is, it bothers me that these niggas know where each other at all times. Like, they know where each other at, because I'm thinking, like, ain't y'all at some type of odds or whatever? But I know they not really going at each other like that because of them trying to pretty much just make the money and not really go at war. The whole situation with Diamond and Jannard, but it's, I don't know, I guess there's something about with Tommy knowing where everybody exactly is at. You had the situation, you know, with the Serbs or whatever, but I mean, I guess he would know with Jannard at being Diamond. I don't know, man. That just threw me off a little bit, but to see where this was going to go between Jannard and Tommy is going to be interesting because your boy Jannard is losing it. Bro is just straight up losing it, but he was becoming a fiend, pretty much a dope head at this point, because it get to a situation where it seems like he's not going to take old buddy out. As far as the dude that shot at Tommy or whatever, then his ass flips the fuck out because he's dealing with the situation with the Serbs who trying to get their money because they pretty much end up leaving him ass out in this episode, taking his car, whatever, which I think was a Lamborghini, some shit. What? So now he's pretty much just goddamn doping up or whatever because he don't know how to get out of these situations. Miguel, I think he still owes Miguel money and the whole thing with the Serbs. Now he's dealing with this situation with old buddy not listening to him. He kind of feeling like he not really getting his respect or whatever, but it's really the drugs talking, kind of pushing him over the edge. So he is just blanking out in this episode, and it's kind of looking like it's going to be leading down here for Jannard. This possibly could be his last season because my boy looking like this ain't it. He is turning into a straight dope fiend. Another interesting situation that I kind of talked about last week is the whole transition with Kate as far as Tommy's mama. And that's another thing I liked about this episode as far as kind of getting in these conversations, especially with Kate and Tommy, where you kind of have Kate going through a situation where she's trying to change, where I'm thinking, is she dying or something? Like, and I'm still trying to figure out, is she like dealing with something where she's dying or something from a disease or something's going on with her? But it could just be her trying to change because of, the whole thing with her meeting JP or whatever. And now she knowing she got a grandson or whatever with D-Mac. It could be just her trying to really change and turn over a new leaf. So we getting this whole transition with Kate, man. She going to rehab. The whole thing with her trying to have like a real conversation with Tommy as far as her apologizing the way he had to grow up or whatever, and even him kind of getting vulnerable and kind of him showing or trying to come at Kate about how she pretty much raised him. Every situation she was going through as far as her drug habit or whatever. So that was interesting, man. Like I said, if we doing this type of shit with Power as far as Tommy, so I'm kind of interested in seeing that, especially with them kind of going into like so much of a deeper character development with Tommy, because we already know what type of menace he is, but the fact that the situation with his pops, and you know how that ended, now kind of getting these moments with him and Kate and kind of deep diving in who he is and why he is the way he is, that could be interesting, man. I'm just saying. Outside of that, though, we do have another situation with Tommy and Diamond as far as the whole thing with Miguel. Now, outside of Miguel not seeming like he is in charge, like we might have thought he was in charge. Now, one thing I would say about Miguel is Miguel seems like he's definitely not stupid. Because we got a situation, with Tommy and Diamond and what they doing with this whole thing with trying to make it seem like the Serbs been attacking them and having Miguel's crew like they been attacking the Serbs. And I do think they do have a real situation as far as the Serbs and Miguel, but Tommy and them been kind of amping it up a little bit more. And now you got this whole situation with them trying to come in and like re-up, but they trying to go like get even more than they got last time. And Miguel is kind of hesitant. He's like, I don't know. I'm going to fall back and I'm going to wait on this. And he had that conversation with his grandmother. So one thing I like about that is getting somewhat of a villain, even if I don't know Miguel is technically going to be a villain, because him and Tommy and them can end up teaming up at some point to take out the dude that's kind of over him, or he want to overtake his grandmother. It's a bunch of stuff that can end up happening. But I am kind of looking at him like we got a decent guy that's not going to let Tommy and them manipulate him or let Tommy and them intimidate him, like Tommy does with other characters, whatever, because the whole situation with the Flynns, like this nigga came in the first season and just like ran through their ass, man. Motherfuckers wasn't shit, man, and they still kind of ain't. He still be talking shit to him, especially Walter. Shout out to Walter, man. That's my guy, nigga. That's my boy off Sons of Anarchy, man. He ain't never, that's Chibs. Chibs ain't go out like that, bro. But anyway, Diamond also got other situations as far as this parole officer who also seems like he's not stupid, because it's, the barbershop thing he got going on, and they do play it smart at the barbershop. Shout out to the old guy in the chair where this situation kind of comes up where the PO is in there and he basically runs a play and everybody just goes along with it, and it seems like a legit thing that's going on there. But like I said, you could kind of see that this guy is going to be on Diamond's ass, and that's another thing with the moves him and Tommy be making. How do he know this guy not just sitting somewhere sometimes just following him or watching him as far as his PO? So that's going to be interesting, man. Tommy and Diamond, boy, they got a lot going on. It's the situation also in prison, because they making their moves and they got the things going on in prison, but the whole thing with the CEO that Diamond's been smashing, they kind of have their little, I guess you call it a fight or whatever. They had a little combo or whatever. But outside of that, the guy that was in the first season when Dominic first got out, which I didn't even know he was in a wheelchair, and shout out to that guy. He has a YouTube channel. He also be kind of doing like after show reviews or whatever of the episodes as far as the guy in the wheelchair. But he pretty much ain't in on the scheme as far as what Diamond and Tommy got going on, so he's trying to run his own shit. But seems like he gets an offer that he can't resist. So it does seem like maybe he's going to be basically working for Tommy and Diamond, depending on how he looks at the situation. I don't know how long it's going to last, because it don't seem like he's the type of individual that necessarily want to work for anybody, let alone work for Diamond, who I think is the one who put him in the wheelchair. Y'all can let me know if I'm wrong, but I think he did mention it. But outside of that, D-Mac, we get once again another good conversation with JP and D-Mac, and the whole thing with why JP wasn't necessarily looking for him early on or whatever, why he didn't necessarily come for him sooner. And that was a real good conversation. Once again, there's some decent moments in here, and that's why I enjoyed this episode a little bit more than I have the first two, I guess. But not only that, the conversation between JB and Kate. Once again, that's why I feel like Kate is kind of going through this whole transformation, because they have a conversation too, as far as JP saying like, why didn't you necessarily look for me or come for me? Is it because I was black? And I'm like, oh, okay, I like where this is kind of going. Okay, I see what y'all doing, pal. But even with all that being said, it's still not really taking nothing away from the main plot we got going on. Like I said, your boy Jannard is out here pretty much losing it, and we're going to have to see where that go. But it's also the situation with the cops, and seeming like they might be getting closer to getting a situation where they can come after Tommy or whatever. And not only Tommy, but, you know, CBI, whatever the fuck their name is. And also this whole PO thing, man, it's going to be crazy. But the situations with D-Mac, man, because it comes to a situation where Tommy has to come in and pretty much trying to tell them they got to protect himself as far as JP, because of the whole situation with Tommy being shot at, so he thinking maybe they could be coming after them too. So your boy D-Mac, you already know how he is, or where, you know, situation he come from. He want a piece too. So it gets to a situation where JP, he has the gun that Tommy gave him, but man, he ain't put it up good enough, and your boy D-Mac pretty much gets it. So now it's like, oh my gosh, D-Mac, what the hell are you about to do, man? What are you about to do, bro? Chill the fuck out, man. Once again, I enjoyed this episode. I feel like this was a lot better, and maybe this is the direction we're going in, and this might get a little bit more better, and we might get a situation where Tommy ain't as strong, or it's more so just seeing Tommy not get took out or nothing like that, of course not. But I want to see Tommy up against some obstacles. I want to see this guy in a situation where it seems like maybe he ain't going to be able to get it out so easy. That's all I'm saying. And it seems like Miguel might be that situation. Or the whole thing with him trying to do this whole cartel thing and not be the middleman. It seems like he might be moving too fast trying to be the guy. But it's definitely going to be interesting, man. As far as this whole thing with him and Diamond, and I ain't saying they trying to do a whole redo over of ghosting him. Never mind, man. Anyway, it do kind of make you miss Ghost, though, and let you just know how powerful of a team him and Tommy was, but the chemistry and the dynamics between them two, and the way they playing shit out, and I'm just saying the way they maneuver is entirely different from how Diamond and Tommy move. And then maybe it's the city of Chicago, I don't know. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this recent episode as far as Power Book Force Season 2, Episode 3, War and Ice Cream. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell, let you know when I upload new videos. Other than that, we out.